On Radio Row at Super Bowl 49 here in Phoenix with former NFL quarterback Ray Lucas. He played for 5 NFL teams, and his post-football career has included many things, but most recently a screening of a new film called United States of Football, which is going to deal with why kids should even bother to play the game. There's a lot of talk out there right now, Ray, is there not? That
oh, my goodness.
You don't want your kid playing the game.
Troy
right?
Aikman, Mike Ditka, Harry Carson, just to name a few that said that they wouldn't let their kids play football. Now, God has blessed me with 3 girls. Me and my wife and my family are trying to adopt. If I had a young man in my house and he asked me to play football, it would be absolutely yes. You can get hurt in any sport. The worst sport in America right now for injuries is cheerleading. Well, guess what? 3 of my daughters were all cheerleaders. I wouldn't stop them from cheerleading because they might get hurt. I think when you play football, there's certain things that I took away from the game that helped me in business today. The structure, the working as a team, the discipline, the sacrifice, the battle tested that you become. You get put in certain situations in football that, when you get older and you're working the 9-to-5 jobs that your boss would say, you know what, he's battle tested. He can make this decision. Now, I've made a lot of decisions to win and lose games for my team in the past. So for me, football has brought me a lot of stuff after my career was over with, but I would go back in a second and do it all over again.
But you also got addicted to pain pills.
Yes.
Why did that happen?
Well, I left. Once you leave the NFL, you have insurance for 5 years. In year 6, my neck started bothering me, and there was no way for them to do an IOU on a $250,000. I told them I'd get their money. It just wouldn't be right away. But the next best thing that the doctors gave me were pain pills, which started out as probably normal. I had about 125 a month, which quickly escalated to 400. And before I knew it, I was 1,400 pills a month in the hole, sometimes taking 50 to 80 a day. It was dire straits. I lost my home. I lost my business. A lot of things happened to me that happens to the ordinary guy on the street. The drugs, they don't care what color, race, creed, or what you do for a living. They don't care at all. They just come in and just wreck everything. This group pass came in, and thank God, it drove me to the point of suicide where I actually went to the GW Bridge and drove back over it about 5 or 6 times, picking out my spot where I was going to drive my truck off the bridge, praying that somebody would see my truck go over and actually call somebody to let them know that I had, passed away. There's a lot of different things that happen when you leave the game of football, and one thing is there's no exit strategy. You get a garbage bag and a kick in the pants and say, have a nice day. Where's the guy with, the insurance for the rest of your life? Where's the guy with 5 cards that tells you, hey, listen, by the way, if you're looking for a job, here you go. Or where's the guy that says, here's the thing, God forbid you start getting depression because you missed the game so much. Here's a guy that we recommend you talk to. So some of the things, and I don't blame the NFL on addiction. I had a high tolerance when I left the NFL, but that had nothing to do with me taking 1,400 pills a month.
Okay, so, again, parents hear this, and they hear about this film, United States of Football, and then they hear your story.
Yes.
So that terrifies them. They don't want their kid to wind up. So, again, I ask the question, why let them play?
Well, you let them play because of all the things I've stated before. But, again, you have to understand one thing. Your son could get hit by a car walking across the street. If the crossing guard's not there, are you going to not let him cross the street? To me, there's the stuff that I've gained from the NFL outweighs all the negative. You know what I mean? Listen, if we can get the kids at a very young age in that Pop Warner level and that high school level and educate the players to know no one knows your body better than you do. Educate the coaches, educate the parents so they know, God forbid my son comes home and he had a head injury and he's throwing up. It's time to go to the hospital. A lot of people don't know these simple things that could help them, be better. And, again, I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not going to stop my little baby, my 12-year-old, from cheerleading because she may get a concussion or she may blow her knee out. I don't do what the maybes or can maybe happen. I don't believe in the happen. I believe in the here and now. And it's a fact. Football is a violent sport, and there's going to be some kids that get injured. But instead of going to the doctor, a perfect example, my daughter had a root canal 2 weeks ago. She comes home with a script for 30 Vicodin. Therein lies the problem. She had a root canal. What the hell does she need 30 Vicodin for? Okay, so you get a kid who's hurt in high school, turns an ankle, blows a knee out, okay? There's going to be certain times where you need to take those painkillers. But he should never, ever be in charge of how many he takes. That's the parent's responsibility. And let's face it, it's become an epidemic. People are getting high out of grandma's closet, where all her pain medicine is. So I think more of education to let the people know exactly what to expect from the game, exactly what their son is going to get from the game. And I think that's where it started. I mean, look what the NFL is doing right now. They take the helmet away if somebody has even a thought of having a head injury. They take the helmet away. It should not be different on any level from Pop Warner to high school to college. There should be a blanket rule. I mean, that's one of the rules the NFL has come up with that I totally agree with, because when I played, if you didn't take my helmet away, I guarantee you I was going back in that game.
Ray Lucas is with us. You played for the Jets. You played against the Patriots.
Yes.
You believe it, and played for the Patriots.
Yes.
You believe you believe what they say about deflating these footballs, that it just happened?
Well, here's my thing, and I first have to tell you this so I can get to the second part. When you lose 47-7, the Patriots could have beat the Colts with a beach ball. It didn't make a difference what the ball was inflated or not, because I remember Blunt carrying the football for almost $180 and 3 touchdowns, and I don't think the inflation of the ball had anything to do with that. Now, you look at New England and their past history. Not very good. But when you have a guy like Tom Brady come up and they ask him straight out, did you or did you cheat? And he says, I don't believe so. Now, if my wife called me and asked me if I was cheating and I said I don't believe so, I guarantee I'd be divorced in about 3 days. You have to infinitely deny the fact that you cheated. And I think he kind of left the door open, so I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. Now, being a former quarterback, when I played, we took the balls out into the parking lot, scraped them on the sidewalk, and got all that glossy stuff all through them in the dryer, to make sure that they came back, because we could do that. I remember kickers putting their knee in the crown of the ball so the ball would become fatter so they have a sweeter spot to kick it. Now, I know the rule is you give the balls to the officials. And if the weight is not what it's supposed to be, they're supposed to fill it. Now, I think the problem therein lies between them giving the balls back 2 hours before the game. So now it could be anybody.
Right. Ball boy, who knows, right?
Who knows? But you hear Pete Carroll, when he came in yesterday, said, as a head coach, I have no knowledge of what goes on with the footballs. So Belichick is in the clear, but I don't believe so. Doesn't really work for me when you hear that from Tom Brady.
And then you've got Marshawn Lynch sitting out there. He won't talk to the media. I don't care about that.
Yep.
But grabbing his crotch over and over, and now they're going to penalize him 15 yards on Sunday. I'm sorry, I'm on the NFL side on that one.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that's a little extreme, especially with, any game. I'm not going to say a marquee game like the Super Bowl shouldn't be allowed, but it shouldn't be allowed in any game as far as I'm concerned. As I said before, I have 3 daughters. You know what I mean? And one is 20 years old in her sophomore year of college, and if she was dating some dude that was grabbing his crotch, he wouldn't be dating that dude that was grabbing his crotch. So, again, I think there's a time and place for celebration, and I love the old, like, Redskins, how they used to do the fun bunch, but the grabbing of the crotch is on a different level than that. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Ray Lucas here on Radio Row at Super Bowl 49. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.